All right, it's time for Tannen's early season hot take. My big hot take is that Dallas will be last in the South Division. I just want to show everybody this preemptively before I get into this hot take to show that this is something I thought of 3 weeks ago. Four big reasons that Dallas will be last in the South Division. One, new ownership. Two, travel is a big, we don't get paid a lot in the AUDL. And so I'm not sure if they're going to be compensated the same as they were in the past. So travel might be more expensive for players and cause them not to play as much. Three, a former player who I thought would be transitioning into an MMA fighter career is now the coach. Four, Instagram has shown that there's a lot of new signings of former players that are now playing for Austin or playing somewhere else. It's hard to win when a lot of your best players are playing somewhere else now. Dallas Legion hopes to be the Roman Empire of 117 AD, but will most likely be the Roman Empire of 395 AD. Hey everybody, welcome back to Road to Semi-Pro Part 3. First of 4 preseason rankings. I guess this is going to be preseason training camp rankings. So it's pretty early. All it is really based on is some off-season moves, some of my initial thoughts, and I don't know, maybe I'll ruffle some feathers. I want to give a side note to any of my teammates or people that I'm close to. For integrity's sake, I won't be saying anything that isn't already public knowledge. I also want to give a disclaimer to teammates of mine. I'm sure some people might be confused on where I place my own team, where I place other teams. This isn't meant to give any kind of indication about my feelings towards my level of effort or my opinion about how I'm approaching games. I want to win every single game that I step on the field. But at the same time, I think there is a level of respect as a competitor and whatnot. And this is me kind of taking a step out of being a player and more of just trying to be objective about where we are in a tier list. And I mean, it's preseason, a lot can change over the course of this off season. It's just kind of fun. So let's get into it. All right, starting for number 1, I have to go with Raleigh Flyers. The returning champs have the D1 Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, the college champs, and the club championships. I think it'd be disrespectful not to assume that they're just going to run it back with the same team. I haven't heard of any roster additions or drops, but I can assume that they're probably just going to have a very similar roster as they did the last couple of years. I would like to make a note that in the club championships, Ring of Fire versus Pony, that Evan Lepler mentioned that Sol Yannick had started med school and that his attendance for future USAU or AUDL might be limited just because of school and whatnot. So maybe, I don't know if that's going to start next year. I'm not sure how far along he is in that education, what his summer plans are, that kind of thing. So, he was a huge contributor. I mean, he led the team in completions and whatnot. So, he'd be so sorely missed. I guess the big thing for that is he might not play every game. I'm sure that the Raleigh Flyers, just like UNC, Ring of Fire, they'll have some kind of amazing rookie that's been playing Ultimate since they were 3 years old. First year in the ADL, and they just blow up the league up and score a million goals and whatnot and get Rookie of the Year. So someone will be, they'll have an army of people playing. Number 2, I have to go with Atlanta Hustle as my number 2 seed in the South Division. From their Instagram, they've already announced that they've signed a lot of their key returners, such as Brett Holzmeyer, Christian Olsen, those kind of people. They've also signed Elijah Jaime. They've also signed Tanner Robinson. Kelvin Williams are also coming back. Shout out to the Birmingham boys. They have a great coach in Miranda Knowles, and they have a great system that everyone has bought into. I think if they fix some of their execution mistakes that they had in the away Raleigh game and the playoff game against New York, I think they're contending for the division championship. Whoever wins the South Divisional Championship is probably going to win the entire AUDL Championship. That's also a prediction. I think if they fix those mistakes and John Stubbs decides to play more than 2 away games this year, I think they're going to be absolutely deadly. At 3rd, I put the Austin Soul. They've signed Kyle Henke, who was formerly of the Dallas Roughnecks, who was also formerly of the Austin Soul, who's coming off his Division III title run with Oklahoma Christian. And they also signed Aussie Mark Evans, who formerly played the Colony team from the World Games from 4 years ago that Jimmy Mickle and Chris Kotcher joined. So, I mean, the guy's good. He's played at the high level in Australia for a long time. I think it's a really awesome kind of under the radar pickup for them. Kyle Henke, he had that hand injury for a long time, so hopefully that's all healed up and whatnot. I think for the first time ever that Austin came out on top of Dallas over the course of the season, so they have a lot of momentum going. I say one tidbit of information for this team that a lot of people probably don't think about is Joe Sefton played for this team last year, played for Sockeye for a really long time. Joe Sefton was also on the world team in 2016. So he is a former Sockeye player playing in Austin. It kind of makes sense. He travels a lot. Number 4, got to go with the Tampa Bay Cannons, my boys. I guess this is where some people might find this as a hot take. This is probably the position that most people outside of my team probably disagree with. The games we lost, we got blown out by. Our wins were against a Pittsburgh team and then a depleted Atlanta Hustle. So why am I not putting us last? Personally, it's a very similar situation in my mind to like what Dallas is going through. We have a new coach, a new era, in a sense, kind of brewing in Florida. It's been a while since Freystadter, Jeremy Langdon, and Cole Sullivan, and even Michael Fairley, who's now on Hustle, like these guys played and whatnot, and Bobby had left and came back. I just think like it's kind of like a new face. I think these last couple of years have been rough since the transition from Jacksonville, but I think the team and the ownership has stayed consistent, and they're really kind of getting some roots down in the community and really kind of building a brand. And it's something like when you have stability in the organization itself and some young talent, I think that's really what you can build momentum around the team. Also, you can't go wrong that I'm playing for them, so we're bound to pull an upset somewhere. Talking with Mike Taylor, the new coach, I think there's new schemes, there's different looks. He helped lead UCF to the game to go in 2019 college regionals, when the year prior they didn't even make regionals. And I think this just kind of makes the team chaotic and unpredictable. I love chaos. I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited to play for this team. Number 5, no really surprise, because this is where I placed them for my hot take. I think Dallas Legion is going to be last in the South Division. Similar situation to Tampa Bay, but I don't play for them, so they're last. I think the key thing is how many leadership changes they're going through with new owner, new venue, new coach, all that kind of stuff. That stuff can really disrupt momentum building, even if they're formally involved with the organization. I just don't think it's really efficient to build momentum. I think signing Matt Bennett is a really cool pickup. I'm honestly a little interested on why he's signing with Dallas versus staying with Austin, because from my understanding, he used to play for Dallas, and then he also played for Double Y, when they made the title run in 2017. And then I think the next year he formed his old club team, HIP, and he moved back to Austin Sol, and then they just had all the success, and then he's leaving. I thought his attitude and how he interacted with teammates and whatnot was kind of like a driving factor, maybe why he left and why he wanted to play for Austin. So maybe I think that might signal a shift in either his personal mindset or culturally inside Austin and Dallas. I'm not really sure. This is all pure speculation. Fun fact, I actually played against Matt Bennett in 2015 Select Flight Invite. He was playing for HIP, I was playing for Huntsville Freaks. He literally narrated his every move. Every time he faked, he'd be like, "Oh, got you with that. That's not a good look. Oh yeah, that flick. Oh, it's evening out." Stuff like that. Entire game. I'm really curious if he still does that. I hope you enjoyed Road to Semi-Pro Part 3. These rankings and this hot take were really fun to think about. This has just been me kind of observing Twitter news and all of the Instagram signings and whatnot over the last couple of weeks, and I thought it'd be kind of cool just to compile a quick video talking about it and what I think it might implement for the rest of the season. Next week's video is going to be my documentation of me traveling to the Tampa Bay the first Tampa Bay training camp this weekend. I'll be going over what I packed for the weekend, just kind of this will be probably more tuned to a vlog and whatnot. Hopefully I'll catch some player interviews and whatnot, talk about their thoughts for the upcoming season, and just hopefully this might be a little bit different format than me just kind of sitting here and talking. So if you enjoy this, please follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, like and subscribe. It really means a lot to the channel, and I'll see you next time.